we had all of our needs met, I believe we would be depressed. We'd be anxious. We'd be worried. We'd be irritated. We would live a pretty depressing life. Everyone is dreaming of this utopia world for us and seeing, we want to live in a place where there's no suffering, where there's plenty of everything. Friends, it's strange, but I don't think it'll turn out the way you want it to turn out. So I was watching a documentary on Universe 25. You should check it out. Basically, back in the 70s, this scientist grabs a bunch of mice, gives them everything they need, they reproduce, and they continue to reproduce more, and they fill a whole colony. They're in the hundreds, and he continues to feed them. He continues to make sure that they have enough food, enough water. There are no predators. The temperature inside this little cage is perfect for mice, and he continues to feed them. He's trying to see, what's going to happen with these mice. Eventually, they're a little overcrowded, so things start getting a little uncomfortable. The male mice, they split into two categories: the ones that females don't want, and the ones that females want. The ones that females don't want, they're like the outcasts, and they're kind of separated from the group. They're segregated, and the ones that the females do want, they're called the beautiful ones. They're not interested in mating anymore. They kind of just sit there and they groom themselves. The females, on the other hand, aren't able to reproduce with the males that they want because they're too busy grooming themselves. So they kind of seclude themselves from the rest of the group, And so there's less reproduction. And then the females start getting a little more aggressive because the males aren't as strong anymore. They become weaker. And that happens with these generations of mice that, they're really not running from anything. They have everything handed to them. So, in turn, the females become more aggressive to the point where they start abandoning their infants or they start eating them. A little bit more violence ensues. The outcast males start, hitting each other. They start fighting amongst each other. They start biting each other. Cannibalism ensues. The wanted males are just the beautiful ones. They just keep grooming themselves. And the next generation is born without the adequate skills to socialize in order to reproduce. So this next generation that's born is doomed. And previous generation, population started to drop. Eventually, all the mice died. And what does this tell you? What does this tell us as mammals? Because that's really the only thing we have in common with mice. A living being needs to struggle. A living being cannot have everything handed down to them. We want that. Don't get me wrong. Lazy me doesn't want to go to work. Lazy me wants pizza delivered to my door every day, a soda, and just play video games and watch movies all day. That's lazy me. But conscious me knows that that's not possible and it's wrong. It's wrong. But if I were able to get that, I would live a very depressing life, a very miserable existence. Yes, I would have everything I wanted, everything that my lazy body wants, but that's not the way we were built. Humans and other mammals are built to want to fight, want to struggle, want to feel a little stressed sometimes. Too much stress is not good. Too much struggling is not good. But feeling a bit of pain, a bit of hunger, feeling uncomfortable, that's what keeps us alive. That's what keeps us moving. And these mice had everything that they ever wanted, and it just doomed them. I think somebody says comfort kills, and I agree with that quote. It does. If we have everything that we want and everything we need, we're not going to strive for anything. There's no reason to build muscles. There's no reason to get up early in the morning. There's no reason to stay up at night. There's no reason for anything. So, just my thoughts on that experiment. Please check it out. Universe 25. It is a very interesting experiment. And what scares me is there are certain elements that are occurring today in they're happening today in the developed world that are very similar to those things happening in Universe 25. Not everything, of course. We're not mice. We don't behave like them in many ways, but in some ways we do. And we have to be very careful and really study this experiment and make sure that such things don't happen to us. I don't think we're going to stop reproducing. I don't think human beings are going to, not just give up on everything. No, even in the developed world, there are struggles. It's not easy, but you're not out there hunting for food, so it's a little harder to be grateful. Grateful for a plate of rice, You go, well, why isn't it fried? Where's the chicken? Anyway, definitely check out the experiment. Very interesting. I'll catch y'all later. Bye bye.